How are you, children? I hope you are all fine and safe at home. I am your Manipali teacher. Would like to discuss with you the very first poem of your ninth English reader. Dear children, as you know, we are proud to be Indians. India is a rich country, known for its traditions, known for its culture worldwide. India is a spiritual guru, known for values, philosophies. And India is a land of many religions. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಲವು ಧರ್ಮಗಳ ತವರೂರು ಭಾರತ. India is a land of many religions. Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, and many other religions flourished on this soil. Buddhism was founded by Gautam Buddha. You know very well about Gautam Buddha, children. Gautam Buddha, who was a prince, renounced his worldly life, worldly affairs. ತನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಪಂಚಿಕ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನು ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿ, ರಿನೌನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿ, he left his wife, he left his son at the palace and went to the forest in search of moksha, in search of truth. ಸತ್ಯಾನ್ವೇಷಣೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತ ಅವನು ತನ್ನ ಮಡದಿ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಾಡು ಪ್ರೇಡು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇರ್ತಾನ. He enlightened, he got moksha and he preached what he enlightened. ಅವನಿಗಾದಂತ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯ, ತನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯದಿಂದ ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದ ತುಂಬೆಲ್ಲ ತನ್ನ ಪ್ರೀಚಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬೋಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾನ. He had many followers, including rajas, maharajas, emperors, and he had many disciples. ಶಿಷ್ಯಂದ್ರು ಇರ್ತಾರ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಅನುಯಾಯಿಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾರ. One among them was Upagupta. Yes, today we are going to discuss about Upagupta. So the first poem. What is the name of the first poem, dear children? Upagupta. This poem is written by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore. As you know very well about Rabindranath Tagore, he was a very popular, very famous and well-known modern poets of India. ಭಾರತದ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಕವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸುಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗಿದ್ದಂತವರು ಯಾರು? ರವೀಂದ್ರನಾಥ್ ಟ್ಯಾಗೋರ್. You know very well as the poet of our national anthem. ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗೀತೆ ಬರೆದ ಕವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಇವರನ್ನು ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು. He was a dramatist, playwright, poet, as well as philosopher and an eminent artist. ಯಾರು? ರವೀಂದ್ರನಾಥ್ ಟ್ಯಾಗೋರ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರ, ಪೋಯಿಟ್, ಡ್ರಾಮಾಟಿಸ್ಟ್, ನಾವೆಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಬರೆದವರು. He has written many novels, many poems, many plays, dramas. He was an artist also. He was ಅವರೊಬ್ಬ ಕಲಾವಿದರು ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. And he was known as Kavi Guru. ಇವರನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ? Kavi Guru. See what he was called as, Kavi Guru, or he was also called as Gurudeva. As you learned in previous class, Gurudeva Rabindranath Tagore. And Rabindranath Tagore founded Vishwa Bharati at Shantiniketan, which is internationally famous institution. अंतरराष्ट्रीय सुप्रसिद्धि पड़ता विश्व भारती शांतिनिकेतन शांतिनिकेतन हत्र विश्व भारती विश्वविद्यालय स्थापने ಮಾಡಿದವರು. Now this is all about Rabindranath Tagore, and once you must remember he has written an anthology, a book of poems in Bengali ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕವನ ಸಂಕಲನ ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಆಂಥಾಲಜಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. So what's its name? Yeah, you know very well. It is Gitanjali. When it is translated into many languages of the world, the whole world read what Gitanjali was, and it fetched him the first Nobel Prize in Literature for India as well as in Asia in 1913. In which year? In 1913 he won Nobel Prize for Literature. It is a matter of proud for India. Nobel Prize for Literature. ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಒಂದು ನೊಬೆಲ್ ಪಾರಿತೋಷಿಕ ತಂದುಕೊಡ್ತು ಗೀತಾಂಜಲಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಂಥಾಲಜಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕವನ ಸಂಕಲನ. Through all his writing, if you go through all the writings of Rabindranath Tagore, we come to know that all his writings, including poems, novels, playwrights, dramas, even art, truly Indian in nature. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಕವನ ಸಂಕಲನಗಳು, ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳು, ಕವಿತೆಗಳು, ನಾಟಕಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಒಂದು ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣ ಹೊಂದಿರುವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. Now let's go to the poem Upagupta. As you know, Upagupta was a disciple of Buddha. Who was Upagupta? Follower, pupil of Buddha, follower of Buddha, Buddhana anuyayi. So another follower, Ananda, was also a follower of Buddha. Like Ananda, Upagupta was also a follower of Buddha, and he was a Buddhist monk. Not only a follower, he was also a monk. ಅವನೊಬ್ಬ ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನ. ಯಾರು? ಉಪಗುಪ್ತ. And leading the path, following the path of Buddha, preaching the principles, preaching the teachings of Buddha to the world, to the people. ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬುದ್ಧನ ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು, ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನ. Going from one place to another place, and eating whatever he get by begging. ಭಿಕ್ಷಾ ಬೇಡಿ ಅದು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋದನ್ನ ಭಿಕ್ಷೆಯಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರೋದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತಾ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ ಬುದ್ಧನ ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಾನ. ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್, ಪ್ರೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಪ್ರೀಚಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುದ್ಧ, ಬುದ್ಧನ ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾನ. ಬುದ್ಧನ ಬೋಧನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಜನರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. Now let us see what happens when he came to Mathura. Through this poem, the very two important characters we see in this poem. ಈ ಒಂದು poem ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ, ಪಾತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. They are one, Upagupta. So the Buddhist monk, who was Upagupta, Buddhist monk, and Vasavadatta. Another character is Vasavadatta. Who was Vasavadatta? Vasudetta was a dancing girl living in Mathura. She was living in the city of Mathura. She was very young, very beautiful. So these are the two important characters in the poem. What are they? Upagupta, the Buddhist monk; Vasudetta, the dancing girl. Now let's open your textbook at page number 24. I will read. This is a long poem. This is a narrative poem which describes the simple life of the Buddhist monk, Buddhist ascetic Upagupta. Upagupta, the disciple of Buddha, lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura. Lamps were all out, doors were all shut, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August. Dear children, the very first time you are trying to imagine Upagupta, the disciple of Buddha, follower of Buddha, came to Mathura and it was night and he was halting there. He was lying asleep on the dusty ground. There was no carpet spread, there was no mat. He was sleeping on the ground. There was no pillow. Even he was not taken pillow below his head. There was no carpet. He was sleeping on the dusty ground. He was sleeping on the ground. Yes, he was a Buddhist monk. He sacrificed the worldly desires. He renounced the worldly affairs. And so he was living a very simple life. Where was he sleeping? On the dusty ground. Who was sleeping on the dusty ground, children? Yeah, Upagupta was sleeping on the dusty ground by the city wall of Mathura. Where was he sleeping? Near the city wall of Mathura. Yes, it is a boundary and it is the near the gate of that city. He was sleeping on the dusty ground. And as it was night, just imagine, dear children, Upagupta was sleeping on the dusty ground. And just imagine, lamps were all out. There were no lamps. There was no light. Lamps were all shut out. Doors were all shut. All the doors of the houses were closed. When do we close our house doors? Yeah, as we close our doors at night, when we go to bed, before going to bed, we close all the doors of our house. Isn't it, children? Yeah. Doors were all closed and stars were all hidden. See here. Stars that are not shining in the sky. Just imagine. There were no lamps. There were no stars shining in the sky. They were all hidden by the murky sky of August. It was a dark night in the August. What does this line suggest, dear children? It was a dark night in the month of August. August ತಿಂಗಳಿನ ಒಂದು ಕತ್ತಲೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ. There were no stars shining. There were no stars flashing. Even the moon was not seen in the sky. It was complete dark night. ಕತ್ತಲು ರಾತ್ರಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ಅಮಾವಾಸ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ತುಂಬಾ ಕತ್ತಲು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. People were all sleeping in their houses. Doors were all closed. No light was seen. Even the street lights were not there. They were all out. ಎಲ್ಲ ದೀಪಗಳಾಗೋಗಿರ್ತವ. ಕತ್ತಲೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ, ಅಂತ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ Mathuras, by the city wall of Mathura, Upagupta was sleeping on the dusty ground. That is very important. Where was he sleeping? On the dusty ground. This is the first stanza. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಜಾ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ Upagupta was sleeping beside the city wall of Mathura. He was sleeping on the dusty ground. There were no carpet spread. He was not sleeping on the carpet or not on the mat. Even he had no pillow to take below his head. He was so simple. As he sacrificed, he renounced the luxuries of the life. What we people have our luxuries. And it was a very dark night. Now come to the second stanza. Whose feet were those tinkling with anklets? Yes, it was a very dark night. There were no stars. The cloud is very gloomy and dark. There is no clear light. Even we can't see. It was such a deep darkness prevailing there. And so, whose feet were those tinkling with anklets? Now let us see. Touching his breast of a sudden, he woke up startled. Just he startled and woke up. The light from a woman's lamp struck his voluminous eyes. See, dear children. Yes, it was a very dark night. Upagupta, as innocent as a child, was sleeping on the dusty ground. Somebody came there whose feet tinkling with anklets. Nodi, underline madkodi children. The sound of the anklets antandre ornament worn by the ankles, chaina anta karitivalla. The sound was heard, metallic sound. Anklet, the tinkling antandre some metallic sound. Tinkling. Let us see the new words. You come across in this poem. You come across many new words, children. Here, tinkling. Metallic sound made by ornaments. Metallic sound by ornaments. Now tinkling sound and karitu. There is the rushing water also, the flowing water has also sound, the tinkling sound. Kattale ratriyalli sound was heard. What was heard? The tinkling sound of the anklets. Anklets ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಭರಣ, ಚೈನಾ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ. Anklets ನ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ who wears anklets? Men or women? Yes, definitely women wear the anklets. And the sound of the anklets was tinkling sound was heard, and the feet were touched the breast of Upagupta, who was sleeping on the dusty ground. The lady who can't see, just the passing by, touched his breast. Whose breast she touched? Yeah, Upagupta's breast touched. When she touched his breast, Upagupta woke up startled. He was surprised. Startled means surprised. Startled means what? Surprised. He was surprised. He was shocked. He was shocked. Suddenly he woke up and sat. He woke up. ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಕ್ಷರವಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಎದ್ದು ಕೂಡ್ತಾನೆ. What made him started and woke up? The very touch of feet to his breast made him started and woke up. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಎದೆಗೆ ಕಾಲು ಬಡಿತದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಕಾಲು ತಾಗ್ತದ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Suddenly he woke up and started to see what is happening to him. Whenever you think that you fallen asleep and you are snoring, just some wet, the water was thrown on you, just some drops of water thrown on you. How do you react? You woke up, startled. ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಮಲಗುತ್ತೀರಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ನೀರು ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಕಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀರು ಚಿಮುಕಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎದ್ದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಲ್. And the light from a woman's lamp struck his forgiving eyes. The woman was holding a lamp in her hand. The woman's face struck his forgiving eyes. He saw the woman's face. The woman saw his face. Here you remember the woman who touched his breast by her leg, by her feet. ಯಾರು ತನ್ನ ಕಾಲುಗಳಿಂದ ಅವನು ಎದೆಗೆ ತಾಕಿದ್ರು, ಆ ಲೇಡಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, she saw his face. How did she saw? It was so darkness because she had a lamp. ಆಕಿನ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಇತ್ತು ಕೈಲಾಗ. She did not see towards the ground below. Just she was walking to her home, holding her lamp. ತನ್ನ ದೀಪ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾಳ, ತನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾಳ. ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಲಗಿರುವಂತ ಉಪಗುಪ್ತನಿಗೆ ಎದೆಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಕಾಲುಗಳನ್ನು ತಾಕಿಸ್ತಾಳಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ಅವನು ಎದ್ದು ಕೂಡ್ತಾನ. He woke up, startled. He was surprised and shocked. And the lady, the woman, saw his forgiving eyes. ನೋಡಿ, very peaceful and calm. ಎದ್ದು ಕೂಡ್ತಾನ. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಏನೋ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Though he was surprised, it was not reflected in his eyes. ಅವನ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಂಗರ್ ಕಾಣುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಷರ ಕಾಣುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. He was angerless, very peaceful, calm, quiet and tranquil eyes ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಶಾಂತ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ, these are the forgiving eyes. ಕ್ಷಮಿಸುವಂತ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳು, ಕ್ಷಮಿಸುವಂತ ನಯನಗಳನ್ನ ಆ ದೇವಿ ನೋಡುತ್ತಾಳೆ. Who had forgiving eyes? Upagupta. It was the dancing girl. Do you know who was that lady who touched his breast by her feet? Yeah, she was the dancing girl. As I told earlier, who was dancing girl? Vasodata. Touched the breast, touched her feet to Upagupta, who was sleeping on the dusty ground. He touched his breast and he saw his forgiving eyes. It was the dancing girl, stayed with jewels. She was wearing so many ornaments. Ornaments were shining on her body. She wore many rich ornaments. She had necklace, earrings, nose ring, and she was wearing bracelets, stayed with jewels, wearing a pale blue mantle. See, dear children, she was wearing a sari. In the picture, you will see the girl, the costume of that dancing girl. She was wearing a dancing costume, and it was pale blue. How was her mantle? Mantle means a loose dress, a dress. She was wearing a pale, light blue colored mantle dress she was wearing. She was wearing a light blue colored dress. Drunk with the wine of her youth. Underline this line, dear children. It means drunk with the wine of her youth. ಯೌವನದ ರಸ ಕುಡಿದಂತ ಹೆಣ್ಣು. ನೋಡಿ, try to understand this line, how beautifully the poet describes the dancing girl. Proud, this means proud of the youth, proud of her youth and beauty. ತನ್ನ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ತನ್ನ ಯೌವನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗರ್ವ ಮತ್ತು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಇರುವುದನ್ನೇ ಕವಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. She had a lot of proud of her youth and beauty. ತನ್ನ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ, she was so beautiful, she was so young, ಅತಿ ತರುಣಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಾಳ, and she was so beautiful. That is why the poet described her beauty, her proud, as drunk with the wine of her youth. Underline ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ proud of her beauty and youth. ತನ್ನ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ತನ್ನ ಯೌವನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಭಿಮಾನ, ಗರ್ವ ಇತ್ತು ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಣಿಗೆ. Who was that lady? Vasavadatta. What was she? She was a dancing girl of Mathura. Yes. Now let's go. She lowered her lamp. Yes, she touched his breast with her feet. She lowered. She moved down her lamp. Lowered her lamp ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೂವ್ ಡೌನ್. ತನ್ನ ದೀಪ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳ. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ದೀಪ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳ. And saw, ನೋಡಿ, she saw young face. What did she see? Young face. ಒಂದು ತರುಣ ಯುವಕನ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ತಾಳ. Utterly beautiful. See here. She saw the forgiving eyes as well as when she lowered her lamp. ದೀಪ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನೋಡ್ತಾಳ. She saw it in utterly beautiful face, young and utterly beautiful. The lady was beautiful. She was very young, and she wore many jewels on her body. They were flashing like stars. And this ascetic, this young monk was very simple. Utterly beautiful means very simple, without any decorations, without any decorations. The meaning is given in glossary, dear children. You go through that. You after this poem, you read once or twice, underline the new words, and go through the glossary. You will get the meanings of the new words. Okay. Who was utterly beautiful? Yeah, the young monk Upagupta was utterly beautiful. Without any decorations, without any wearing with any jewels or wearing beautiful dress, but he was very simple and beautiful. Now the lady lowered her lamp and saw the young face. In the paragraph, the lady Vasavadatta was also described her beauty, and the poet describes how Upagupta was. He was very young, dancing girl. Vasavadatta was also young. She was wearing a number of jewels, various jewels on her body. They were flashing like stars. But here Upagupta was also young, beautiful, and he was very simple. Now, as the lady touched his breast, she said, "Forgive me," in the city. She lowered her lamp. She knelt down there. He knelt down before him. ಅವನ ಎದುರು ಕುಂತು ಅಂತಳ, "Oh young one, forgive me." Why did she beg forgiveness? ಯಾಕೆ forgive me ಅಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ? ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ she touched his breast. She touched his breast with her feet. ಕಾಲುಗಳಿಂದ ಒತ್ತಿರ್ತಾಳಲ್ಲ ಅವನ ಎದೆಗೆ, unknowingly, not purposefully, not intentionally, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗದೆ as it was very dark, ಕತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ತಾಗಿಸಿರ್ತಾಳಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ she what did she request? Forgive me, young ascetic. Ascetic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿಸ್ಟ್ monk ಅಂತ, ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ ಅಂತ. Ascetic means what? A monk. Ascetic means a monk who renounced worldly pleasures. ಪ್ರಾಪಂಚಿಕ ಸುಖವನ್ನು ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತವನನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಅಸೆಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಮಾಂಕ್, ಸಾಧು, ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ, ಸೇಜ್, hermit. We have many names. Here was the young ascetic. Upagupta was the young ascetic. Graciously come to my house. The dusty earth is not a fit bed for you. See here. The young lady knelt down before Upagupta and she made a request. Kindly, oh young ascetic, kindly come to my house. It was a very dark night and he was sleeping on the dusty ground. She said, oh young ascetic, why are you sleeping here? It is not a fit bed for you. Is it a bed for you? Please come to my house. She invited him to her house. The dusty earth is not a fit bed for you. What she said? She said, oh please come to my house. I am going to my home. Please come to my house. It is not a fit bed for you. Don't sleep here. Kindly, graciously come to my house. It was the request she made. The young ascetic answered. Now the young ascetic, young monk, Buddhist disciple, Upagupta, in the dark night, a young lady was giving me an invitation to come to her house and spend the night in her house. But the young ascetic, the young sadhu, young sannyasi, taruna sannyasi antana, oh man, go on your way. Oh man, oh menne, go on your way. You go to your house. It means, did he accept his invitation? No, he didn't accept her invitation. So he said, go on your way. When the time is right, I will come to you. See, this is underline this line, dear children. This is very important line. When the time is come, when the time is right ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಯ ಹಣ್ಣಾಗಲಿ, let the appropriate time come, let the suitable time come. It is not a suitable time to come to your house. This dark night is a not suitable time to visit your house. ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರುವುದು ಈ ಕತ್ತಲ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಸೂಕ್ತ ಸಮಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. Let the time right, let the appropriate time come. I will come to your house. ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ and I will come to you. I will certainly visit you when the time is appropriate. He says like that. In the next class, we will see the remaining portion of this poem. Okay, dear children, till then you read this poem once or twice, underline the new words, try to understand the traditions, how the culture is implicated here, how the Indian tradition is reflected. Why did not he visit her house? Yeah, he did not visit her house as he was renounced the worldly pleasure. He was living a very simple and strict life. He won't visit the houses. Even they won't come in contact with the lady. Women, they won't come with the contact of a woman. That's why he refused to come visit her house. And he promised her, he assured her, let the appropriate time come, I will visit you. He assured after visiting at an appropriate time. Okay, that's all.